Hello, my name is Bryce Fowler, and this is a short video going over a vocal warm-up that I like to call the VA warm-up. Let me first demonstrate it, and then I'll talk about how it's helpful, especially in the classroom. VA. Alright, so to break it down a little bit, what this warm-up is if you use solfege, it is just a major arpeggiation up and then a turnaround using solfege and going down the major scale. So it sounds like this. Do, mi, so, do, ti, do, re, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. Now, using solfege is really helpful in this warm-up, especially with choirs or students who may be really new to singing, maybe really new to solfege. So it's a great tool to use when you're trying to really teach and go over how solfege works, how it interacts with different intervals, especially with the do, mi, so, mi, do. As we all know, do, mi, so, mi, do is so important, especially in a lot of music, and it's a really good foundation to start with when teaching your students solfege and when teaching your students how to read and sing music. So, moving on to the VA portion of this, I recommend using VA when you're really trying to help students create a good resonance, when you're trying to help them create good tone, um, and keep good tempo. So, the V at the very beginning, V, is crucial because think about it this way: if you've ever done a lip trill like this, you feel all those vibrations in what we call the vocal mask. The vocal mask or the face mask is where the sound resonates in on literally on your face. And so when you do that lip trill, you can feel those vibrations. I feel them in my nose a lot of times. I even feel them in my cheeks and sometimes even in my ears, which is a little bit weird, but it's also totally normal. Um, so why the V is so important is because, like the lip trill, the V, say it with me, V also engages that vocal mask, engages that resonance. And so, but it's also so short that it's just basically it starts the resonance, it starts the tone, it starts that spin in the voice that we want to hear, but it doesn't hold on to it. So the vocal use V going all the way up to the high do. So V, and then at and then when you reach the high do, you change the ah. This is crucial because at this point, your students have already engaged their breath. They have already engaged that resonance inside their voice. And so once you get up to the ah, it just basically lets all that spin release and open up. And this is a good part to work on tone with your singers, and then they sing all the rest of it all the way down. So it's ah, put it together, V ah. So when you hear at the beginning the V is kind of like it's an onset. It's very distinct, and so that's what's so important. So make sure when your singers are practicing this that they get a good kind of clear V going, because they don't want to be singing V or V, because it doesn't set it up as well. It kind of leaves room for mistakes, and which we just kind of want to build out and just make sure that our singers are singing healthily and sing as best as they can. So another thing to really keep in mind with this as well is tempo. Keeping a good beat. As the director, as the conductor, it's very important that we keep the beat constant and the beat going. But it may also be helpful to ask your students to do this as well, because it's really easy, especially when going up higher, even going down lower, that your singers will want to start to elongate the phrase a little bit more because they're trying to get that spin. They're trying to get that good tone through. But overall, if you just move through that line, if you move through that line in a steady tempo, it's going to resonate so much more than if they stayed on it longer. So it's very important that you keep the tempo at all times, that they are following you, and that they're not slowing down or speeding up. And like I said, it's very helpful for you to even ask them to keep the tempo as well. So overall, the VR warm-up helps singers stay engaged. It helps them sing healthily with good vocal tone. It helps them create resonance inside their vocal mask. And it's very good when using faster songs because of these reasons. And even in slower songs, as you may know, like there are some very high parts in some music, especially for sopranos. So if they can understand how to just engage their breath and engage that sound, then they can hit those high notes without going flat. So let me demonstrate a good and bad way of singing this exercise. So first, bad. As you can tell, I was not engaged. My onset with the V was not that clear. It wasn't crisp. There was no direction in the voice. And because of that, there wasn't as much ring, there wasn't as much spin, there wasn't as much tone. So, thinking of those things in mind, keeping a good tempo, here is a good example. And that is the VR warm-up. Thank you.